Hey Sean, how you doing? Everybody else, hello, hello.
What's up, Amber? What can I do for you?
Yeah, so this is gonna be my first meeting. I think I sent out maybe 55 offers between today and yesterday.
Nice.
Thank you. However, I do have a specific question. If there are, let's say I find a property, pop it in on PropStream, and then the property has liens. Is
Hmm.
there a way to plug that in on Deal Machine or no?
So what you would do is, again, much like with the arrears, title is going to pay off whatever is owed on the property at the time of closing. So
Okay.
that means whether it's an arrear, whether it's liens, it's going to come out of the down payment. So you have to make sure that it's not more than the 10% maximum down that you can give them. So in this
Okay.
situation, where's a good one? Okay, so let's do this one. This one was actually 20, but we added the realtor commission. Okay, so in this one, the purchase price is 250. No, actually, let's do this one because this one has a mortgage. So in this situation, the mortgage balance is 152.
Hmm.
Their PITI typically is 1,700, but let's say they're $15,000 in liens. We'll do $5,000 in liens.
Okay.
So that means that that's going to come out of their down payment, because title and escrow are going to pay off whatever's owed on the property before it closes. They have to by law. And they're
Hmm.
not going to give the money to the seller and hope that they do it. They're going to pay it directly. So that $5,000 in liens, or $4,000 or $12,000, whatever it is coming out of their proceeds. So if they owe
Gotcha.
more than $15,000, and that's also more than 10% of the loan amount or the
Hmm.
mortgage, then they're going to have to come to the closing table with money, or it's going to have to come out of your assignment fee.
Woo. Okay. Gotcha. Thank
Now, if
you.
it's only $1,000, you know what I mean? Like, let's say they have a $15,000 or $16,000 lien, and they're like, "Hey, I don't care if I don't get any money, but I want to get from under this." But if they don't have $1,000, well, then you
Hmm.
could come out of your assignment fee. So
Absolutely.
instead of 10 grand, you'd make nine.
Hmm.
Still nothing to thumb your nose up at.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Does anyone else have a question before I move over to the one I got asked earlier? All right. So let's take a look. So you said you DM'd me this, whatever the realtor said.
I put it in the general Q&A.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, in this chat?
Elite wholesalers.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting you're not in the deal sniper
And
one.
yeah, can you add me to the deal sniper one? I texted Calvin, but he didn't respond to me. I don't think he can see my messages.
Okay, yeah. I will get that fixed, whatever the issue is. Okay, so general Q&A. Okay, how do I respond to this? So the realtor said, "Thank you. Unfortunately, the seller is not interested in these terms. If you'd like the seller to consider owner financing consistent with the following, please let me know. 25% down payment on the purchase price, 25-year amortization with a 10-year maturity, and a fixed 8%, 15% prepayment penalty if payoff occurs within the first 24 months." Okay, so this guy's, um, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We wouldn't do that at all. So we got a couple of red flags. The first one, the 25% down. That's not going to work. The most we can go is 10. 25-year amortization with a 10-year maturity. That's basically a fancy way of saying a 10-year balloon. And then on a fixed rate of 8%, I'm pretty sure, I mean, you can use the calculator to figure it out, but I'm pretty sure that 8% is going to destroy the cash on cash return for this one. And then a 15% prepayment penalty, if that's just all kinds of ridiculous. So I would respond with, "Thank you so much for your time. My offer is good for 30 to 60 days. If your seller's situation changes, please let me know." And then move on, because
Gotcha.
there's no way on that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what they're asking for is crazy. I'm not saying that at all. Because essentially what they're doing is they're saying, "Hey, give me 5% more than what you would give a bank, and we're going to do a 10-year balloon," which most banks wouldn't do. And then we're going to do an 8% interest rate, which is higher than most banks. but they're not asking for like credit checks or anything like that. This is still a viable option. It's just not an option we can move as wholesalers, especially at 8%. I mean, you'd have to find a homestead buyer that also has the credit and doesn't have the credit. So they don't have the credit, which is why they have to go through you to buy the house that they want to live in. But then they have the credit to take a loan out in 10 years in order to refinance the house to pay off the balloon. So yeah, even with a homestead buyer, this probably wouldn't work.
Hey, so is that 8% like typical standard? And please don't curse me out because I know I haven't watched the videos yet. I've just been trying to send out offers because I like to learn as I go. But I haven't watched the videos yet. So
Okay.
forgive me if that answer is in there. Is it always the standard 8% or how does
No, we don't do any interest on any of our deals.
What?
All of our deals are 0% interest. And
Okay.
and the reason why we do that, and you can literally copy this verbatim to the realtor if they ask, why is your payment, why is your payment so low? Why is there no interest? Well, we just offered you probably $25,000 over your asking price on a property that's been listed for 90 plus days. That's why. And we need our buyers to be able to cash flow. If the deal doesn't cash flow, they have zero incentive to purchase it from your seller. And a lot of times that makes sense. So it works.
That's amazing. I literally had for an offer that I sent out, the realtor responded interest rate. And then ... She's like, they owe nothing on this property, FYI. So I haven't responded yet because I was waiting for the meeting to ask you directly.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at the property and I'd get very specific. If the property's been listed for, are you looking for properties that are old listings, 90 plus, 60 plus?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say this property, I offered you, and then do the math, X amount of dollars over asking on a property that's been listed for X amount of days. Now, is the property in perfect condition? Has it been flipped?
No. To answer your question, no.
Okay. So the reason why we don't have any interest, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, is because we offered you X amount over an asking price on a property that's been listed for X amount of days on market with no movement that needs at least $25,000, $30,000 worth of work. That's why we're not giving you any interest.
Nice. Perfect. You're awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Rami, I'm going to go to PJ first because I've already talked to you twice, and then I'm going to hit you up. PJ, what's up?
Hey, man, how you doing, son?
Fantastic.
Brother, I know I probably asked in the Discord earlier, but, man, I'm just trying to see, man, how do I use, like, great verbatim? I'm not going to say great. How do I use any verbatim towards the realtor, when talking to him about the deal? Like, don't want to come off as a wholesaler, I guess. But what do I say? What word track do I use?
So I never advise to stray away from telling a realtor or a seller, if you're direct to seller, that you're a wholesaler. I always recommend be honest, and here's why. One, it stops you from having to compound lies because that's going to happen. So I'll give you an example. You get a property under contract, it's a banger of a deal, right? And you've got 5 buyers that want to go see it, but the owner of the property or the realtor thinks that you're the one that's going to buy it. So you can get away with one walkthrough. Hey, my property manager, my contractor, they're going to walk the property on Monday. That's cool. What do you do with the other 4 or 5 buyers? What is your excuse to the seller why you need more people to walk the property? You're either going to have to lie or confess to the lie that you told the first time. Just be honest the first time. If you want a realtor to take you seriously, a couple of things you want to do. Talk to them straight. You don't have to do any customer service, salesy, anything. I love realtors, even the bad ones, because they make me laugh. I love realtors. And I think that we should have a cohesive working environment between wholesalers and realtors. Here's the thing. I don't look at a realtor, and this is not because I've been doing this for a long time or I've closed a bunch of deals. Even before that, I'm not looking at a realtor and putting them on a pedestal. You are no better than me just because you took a class for like 14 days and took a test. and now you
Right.
think you're better than me. So my demeanor and disposition on the phone doesn't really give a lot of room for them to talk to me that like they would talk to someone who they're perceiving as new or inexperienced or young.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it.
Okay, so pretty much, I think I copied and pasted your word track. Just pretty much, kind of use that and improvise.
Okay.
We work with I think you were like, we work with a couple of buyers in, whatever cities. Pretty much just using that and just let it flow.
Yeah, that's a great plan. And as long as you clean it up and, back it up when you're on the phone with them, you should be good to go. And here's the thing, if a realtor doesn't want to work with a wholesaler or doesn't want to do seller financing, it doesn't matter what terminology you say. It doesn't matter how you sound. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it.
Right, makes sense.
That's why I tell people send out so many offers, because just the fact of our formula of how many to send out dictates that 95% of the time people are going to tell you no.
Right.
So send out a lot of offers, and you will find realtors that I just did a contract for somebody today. They didn't give a damn that they were a wholesaler. You know what they cared about? Here, start with this, BJ. You can start with a little bit of a bribery. When you're talking to the realtor, and you can either, and this is for all of you, you can put it in your offer letter. I know someone is doing that and they've been having a lot of success. Or you can tell them when you talk to them on the phone and tell them that you're a wholesaler. I'm not against you. I'm not against you, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. I'm not here to cut you out of the deal. Far from it. I'm actually probably going to be paying your commission. So if you want to double in this deal, that's fine with me. Here's what you just told them. You just told them that not only are they going to get to take your offer to their seller and say, I got this great offer for you, but on top of that, you're going to pay their commission on behalf of the seller, and you're going to pay their commission on behalf of you being the buyer. Now you just became their best friend.
Gotcha.
So start with the money.
Right.
Get that out as clearly and coherently and confidently as you can.
Okay. Gotcha.
That should really open the door a little bit. And again, even if you say that, there's no guarantee that they're going to want to work with a wholesaler or do seller financing, but it's definitely going to increase your conversion rate.
Right. And I guess just get the realtors that don't want to do them out the way and make room for the ones that do.
Absolutely. And if you guys did not watch the Google Sheets video on how to set that up, you should really set that up, because it's going to be crucial for when you guys do your follow-up. If a property is on market, you sent an offer, put it on your Google Sheet with the link to the property. And if it's been a month since the realtor said no or didn't say anything, you can click that link in your Google Sheet and be like, oh, this is still listed. And then hit the realtor up again. Hey, I noticed the property is still listed. Just want to let you know my offer is good for another 30 days. That's it. Text message.
Gotcha.
Email, whatever. Me personally, I like to make relationships with people, so I would jump on the phone, but that's my personality.
Gotcha. Okay, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna have a one for you later on, but I'm gonna let the other guy, because he raised his hand too. So I appreciate you, man.
No worries.
All right.
Romney, go ahead.
So my question is about earlier when it comes to the question about interest or not. The way I answer is the fact that interest is since the purchase price is higher than the asking, that the interest is already built into the purchase price. Is that the correct way of saying that, or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a beautiful way of explaining that. Yeah, we added the interest into and you can still say it with the same amount of oomph. Like, well, yeah, we added the interest to the extra $25,000 that we gave you over the asking price. Did you guys want more? You can absolutely say, see me, some days I wake up in the morning and I choose violence. So obviously I'm in that mood today. So I don't let anybody push me around. I'll ask them, did you guys want more than that? Like, really? Looking a gift horse in the mouth here a little bit, aren't you? I'm already paying your commission. Oh, you're paying my commission? Yeah. You want to double in the deal? That's fine with me. Now the whole conversation has changed. So just let them know that you're going to pay their commission, and they'll probably let you know what the minimum they'll take if they're open to it, as far as the rest of the terms of the deal, interest rate, things like that.
Gotcha.
All right. Does anyone else have a question that we haven't heard from yet? If not, I'm going back to PJ.
Yeah, I do. How do we make sure that their commission's getting paid? Like, what if their commission is, let's say, 15,000? How are we getting that? Because doesn't the seller have to pay for that?
The buyer would have to. Well, okay. So yes, the seller is supposed to pay for it because they're the ones who signed the contract with the realtor saying they were going to pay it out of their proceeds from selling their home. But that was under the assumption that it was going to be a full cash offer. So on a creative offer, you build it into the down payment and the purchase price of the home. Do you see what I'm saying? Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think I did one. Yeah, I did one earlier. $7,500. So if I go to the calculator, right? And let's say on this one, they're charging 3% or $7,500 as the assignment for the realtor's commission, right? So all I'm going to do is change the cash to seller from 20,000 to 27,500. And then if I click on seller finance, it adds it to the down payment. It was 30,000, but then we added another 7,500. So in the contract, it would say cash to seller, $10,000, or what is it? Hold on. It would say cash to seller, $20,000, cash to realtor, $7,500 at closing. Now, where you have to be careful when you're doing that, which is I think what you were asking, what if it's this big crazy amount, is you have to make sure that it's not to the point where you're way over 15% for the total entry fee. So what do I mean by that? So if I go back to this one, we can give $25,000. That's 10% of the purchase price, right? That's our max. But right here, we're giving 27,500. So now we're at 11%, but that's including the closing costs. Or I'm sorry, that's including the realtor fee. So we can still push that deal because it's close, and we just let the buyer know, well, yeah, you're covering the realtor's commission. Oh, okay. It's no big deal, especially if the deal cash flows. And there's a couple of nuances to that. If this property here, let's say it's completely rehabbed, doesn't need any work, turnkey, the moment the buyer buys it, they can put a tenant in the next day. Yeah, this is fine. You could probably go up to 30. But if the house is jacked up, maybe you're not paying the entire 6%. Maybe you're only paying half. Maybe you're only paying 3%. Or maybe you have a conversation with the realtor. Hey, look, I'm trying to get this deal sold. We got someone, but they're not willing to come in as much. I've already taken some off my fee. Is there any way we can, instead of giving you $27,500 or instead of giving you $7,000, $7,500, can we give you $5,000? You just talk to them. And 9 times out of 10, they'll take that too. You just got to that's the beauty part of telling everyone, whether it's a realtor or the homeowner, that you're a wholesaler, because then you could talk to them real. Hey, I've got a buyer. I'm ready to close. They're ready to put down EMD. Here's the problem. They've only got $35,000 as an entry fee. So I'm going to come off my fee a little bit. Can you come off yours from $7,500 to $5,000 so we can get this thing closed? There's not a whole lot of realtors that are going to say no to that at all, because you can tell them the situation. You're not just telling them a pipe dream or pretending, because here's the thing. There are certain things that investors, real investors, say or how they act that lets you know that they're investors, even without saying it. A realtor can tell. If you're not an actual investor, or you've never invested in properties and you're trying to pretend to be one, they may humor you, but they know. They know. And so every time you try to put another lie on top of a lie, you just look stupid. So if you be honest, 1, you don't look stupid. 2, you're building integrity and a relationship with the realtor based off honesty. And 3, you can talk to them in real terms as to what's going on with the deal. You can say to them, hey, this deal that we locked up, more of my buyers are interested in it than I thought. We have 5 people that want to walk the property. I need you to help me set that up. They will help you set that up because each one of them is potentially their commission. So that's what I would do. Sorry, long story short, you just build it into the purchase price and then make sure that you're not going above 15% as a total entry fee, including your assignment fee, the down payment to the seller, and the realtor's commission. And if it is above 15, 16%, then you need to have a conversation with the realtor, see if they'll back off a little bit. And even if you take your assignment fee and back off a couple $1,000s, again, I don't know a whole lot of wholesalers that will blow a deal over $2,000 if they're going to make 8 anyway.
Sure. Okay. Appreciate it.
No problem. Let's see. Tyler, what's up, dude? Haven't heard from you yet.
Yeah, do you mind if we do a hybrid deal? Just run it real quick. The realtor is charging 3% on the deal that we worked on earlier, and I want to see if we can still do it for the homestead buyer.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay, because he has really low, like some had like 5 or 6. He says 3, but he can go down to 2.5. He said also, and he just wants me to confirm everything with them.
What's the total purchase price?
380,000.
Okay, and he wants 3% of that.
Yeah, he's asking if it was included in the down payment, the 35 down.
It was not.
Okay,
So this is your deal right here, right? Isn't this it?
let me see from earlier. Yeah.
152. Okay, so then in this situation, I would raise this to $36,400.
And we're giving it 500 a month, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So no. Okay. All right. So let me mention this because this just happened. If you guys get your down payment done right, like really close to what Deal Sniper tells you to put, chances are you can still do the realtor's commission and be under your 10%. Case in point, the most we could have given Tyler, good job. The most we could have given this seller is $380 or $38,000 because the purchase price is $380,000. Most we can give is 10%. In this situation, Tyler talked them into taking $35,000. Wait a minute, I did something wrong. Hold on a second. No. This is 46. I messed up. Okay, never mind. Etch a sketch what I was just saying. What I was going to say is that in this situation, Tyler's down payment was so low that we added the realtor's commission and it still didn't break 10%. But I forgot how to do math for 10 seconds, and that's how we got here. So we're at $46,400, and to the investor, we'd be at about, what is that, 16.5%? Yeah, you're okay. Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
take him up. Let's take him up on his offer, though. Let's see what it is. How drastic of a difference it is at 2.5%. $9,000. Okay, so this would be. What do we come off that? 2. So it'd be like 44. Yeah, it's not that big of a difference. Only a couple grand, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, I would take him up on the 2.5%, and to be honest with you, I would probably back yours off to probably 8. Well, let's do. They came off 2,500. No, they came off 2. We'll just do 8. 60 for 308. Yeah, you're good at that. And if you have to keep his at 3, you can. But tell him if he could come off. Here's what you tell him. If you can come off to 2.5%, that's great. And if we end up getting a bigger payment because we're going to push it at 3%, then we'll get you your 3%. Worst case scenario, you get 2.5.
Okay.
And if we do, give it to him. I mean, I'm displaying this thing out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we'll give him the money.
This is a
if we
homestead
get it.
because it's negative cash on cash. That's what I was so confused about when I first saw that.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, if you're ever using the calculator, seller finance, subject to, hybrid, doesn't matter. If this number here, and if anyone needs me to go through a full example, I will. But if the cash on cash return across the board, seller finance, hybrid, subject to, if it's less than 10%, it's probably a deal that we can't move.
Okay, so he wanted me to confirm what is the exact down payment, including his commission again.
$44,400.
Okay, all right, I'll let him know that.
Cool. All right. Who else has a question? Sydney, go for it. Sydney. Okay. Who else has a question? Oh, there we go. Janer, what's up, dude?
What's up, Sean? So I just got an email back from one of the real estate agents, and she says, "How long are you wanting to do the seller financing for? Do I say 7 to 10 years, or do I just give her like 10 years or something like that?"
I would always give a range. What's the purchase
Okay.
price?
Purchase price is 213,000.
Yeah, tell her we're looking to do a 10 to 12 year balloon.
Okay.
And if she barks at that and she's like, "Oh, we really want to do it a little less,"
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you're hoping. You're hoping that she says, "Oh, we were looking for something closer to 5." Then you can meet her in the middle at 7,
Okay.
which is our minimum anyway.
Yep.
Was that it? I guess so. All right. Anybody else have a question?
I just want to say, Sean, that you're so nice to people because I'm
Why?
never
What would
saying,
you have given him?
I'm never saying 10 to 12. I'm going 10, period. End of story. We don't
Right.
like that. Okay, we'll come up to 8. Fine, that's it. 8 is the max for us. That's what we do.
Right. But you're coming from like the hard knocks version of wholesaling, where leads aren't plenty. This one, we can afford to tell them 7 to 10 because there's so many of them. We'll make it up on volume.
I guess.
Sure. Sean, do you mind if I step in here for 1 second and explain something to Chris?
Of course you can.
Golden. So, Chris, another great reason that you give a range, which is at 7 to 10 years, is subconsciously when you give someone options, their brain thinks I have option 1 or option 2. They don't think about the third option. So oftentimes when Sean is saying give them a range, 7 to 10 years, you've given them that option. Oh, now I have to choose between 7 or 10. That's what they're gonna immediately think, 7 or 10. Let me take this to the homeowner. Then the homeowner's gonna be like, oh, 7 to 10. What should I choose? Which is a better option? Now, like Sean said, if they say 5, you've now given yourself a leeway to be like, why don't we meet in the middle and go for 7? So you've opened yourself with options there. But if it's 10 years and that's it, it kind of closes that gauge for negotiation. Because the one thing that when I started, I really needed to understand was how to negotiate with people and its options. If you give options, people will talk to you and be like, okay, hold on, let's see what we can figure out. Where can we meet in the middle ground? Does it make sense? That's why it's kind of give that range, be polite about it, and see where they go from there. But if it's this is my final thing, this is what I'm wanting, it isn't much of a negotiation. It's this is final. Does that make sense?
I understand. It makes perfect sense. For you, you're using the balloon as a negotiating tool. For me, I don't. And the reason I say that is because I have other things that I can use, like the money that you get per month and the cash at closing. Like I was just on a call with, well, Sean, you know, William Billy earlier today. The guy said that he wanted 1,400 a month. And I said, that's not going to work for us. And he was like, well, then we don't really have much to talk about. And I said, look, I said, hear me out. I said, let's work with this. Okay. I said, we can go higher on the down payment. So from 23,000 to 28, I said, we'll jump you $5,000, but we're dropping the monthly down to 1,100. That works for us. You want more money up front, a little bit less. Or I said, if you want more money per month, then we're dropping the down payment to 20 grand or maybe even 18, and we'll raise up the monthly to 1350. That was the highest we can go. So I hear what you're saying. You're giving them options. I feel like I'm giving them options too. I'm just giving them different options because to me, the 10-year, as opposed to a 7 or a 6-year, that's kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but investors do look at that and they'll be more willing to take one that has a 10-year versus a 7 or 6, correct?
Yeah, the higher the balloon, the better. No balloon is ideal, but that's a
Right.
specific situation where a seller will be okay with no balloon. So yeah, the higher the better.
So long story short, with the realtor that I talked to earlier today with Billy, he was like, "Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense." Because I was like, we're trying to make money here too, right? Work with us. And he was like, "Sure, I'll take those two options to the seller." And so now we're just waiting. So
Did he know that you were a
100%.
wholesaler?
That's a question for Billy. I don't know.
Oh, well, it sounds like he
Because
knows
Billy,
that you're a wholesaler because you gave him
I'm
two
assuming
options.
I'm assuming so. He's been talking to Billy. I just had to get on because Billy was like, "Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be a deal," because he was stuck on 1,400 per month. I said, "I'll get him down."
Yeah, it sounds
And then
like both you
I
guys are saying the same thing. You just have different strategies on how you use your options.
right. Jordan uses the balloon as an option or as a choice to give them a choice, and I don't use that. I prefer to use the money because ultimately money talks, right? More money up front, a little bit less on the monthly, or a little bit more on the monthly, a little bit less up front. That's kind of how I did it. But I hear what you're saying, Jordan, and I appreciate you sharing that with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions that I can answer for you? Just wholesaling in general or whatever else, whatever you guys need. Really? Oh, Shannon, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
So I had a question. If when sending offers via email, do we have to just assume that there's no mortgage?
Yes. Yeah, always assume that there's no mortgage because here's the thing. If a realtor receives an offer that's creative financing and they're interested in it, their response will indicate that there's a mortgage. Hey, like this offer, unfortunately, we can't take it. This client already has a mortgage. And then your response should be something along the lines of, oh, no problem. I'll tell you what, if you can get me the approximate mortgage balance, interest rate, and monthly payment, I'll send over a new offer in 15 minutes covering that mortgage also.
Okay.
And then just plug it into Deal Machine.
Sweet. How often should we be actually calling the agents, or is it just better to just be sending emails out?
That depends on what your strategy for follow-up is. Some people in the community, and every example I'm about to give you guys has success in it. It has its pros, it has its cons. Some people in the community just send offers, and they only ever talk to the people that respond back to them positively. They don't follow up. And because they're able to do that, they're not taking the time to follow up. They're sending out more new offers. So their pipeline is constantly moving. Then there are people like me where I'll create my Google Sheets because see me, it's part of the reason is I like to be like, I told you so. So I'll send out a Google Sheet. I'll do my Google Sheet from offers that I send out. And then in a month, I'll click the link that I put there for the property. If it's still for sale, now I'm sending a phone call or I'm sending a text message or an email like, hey, I noticed that property is still for sale. You sure your sellers aren't interested in seller finance? Because my buyers are still interested in the deal.
I see.
So it depends on how you want to, if you want to follow up or not. Some people in the community, they'll send out an offer, and if they don't get a response back, they'll call the next day. Hey, did you get my offer I sent you on this property on 123 Main Street? So it all depends on how you want to have your follow-up game go.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Kent, what's up, man?
What's going on, Sean? A question kind of similar to the one before. If we're reaching out to agents, that means sending text messages should not require to have that opt-in, right? But is it only when we're sending an offer? I mean, you said only do on-market properties, so therefore, do I ever need to worry about sending or doing that whole opt-in prior to sending messages? Text
No,
messages.
I don't believe that's a good question. I don't believe so because they're
Business to
advertising that the
business.
property's for sale.
Right. It's
So
business
it's
to
not a
business.
cold, yeah, exactly. It's not a
Right.
cold call. You're not fishing to see if they're selling this property. You know they're selling this property. It's on market and you
What
have
if-
a question about it.
Yeah. But what about the people that are for sale by owners? They're not necessarily a business, but do they need to have an opt-in?
No, because they're still advertising their property for sale. It's
Okay.
no different than
All
having
right.
a car listed or an old
All right.
TV or something.
All right, cool. That's all I want. That's all I got for now.
Yeah, you should be good.
Thanks.
No problem. Amber, what's up?
Cool. So I heard you say, do we need an example? Are you okay with still doing that example or
Oh, through the
do these?
calculator?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And then my other question actually is, if I give you some numbers, can you plug them in, or do you prefer I just kind of hit you up in the chat for help with the contract?
For the contract,
This is
you're
going to be a deal I split with you guys, so it's a JV.
right. But is it a seller finance deal or is it a subject to deal?
I'll say seller finance.
Has anyone mentioned anything about a mortgage?
No, I mean, there's no mortgage. She even said they don't owe anything on the property either. This is the same woman that asked me about the interest rate.
All right. And this is a seller financing deal. So yeah, there's a contracts channel in the Discord. It literally
Okay.
just says contracts. There's a blank contract there, and then right below it, there's a video on how to fill it out. Here's what you're
Yeah.
going to do, because it's
Okay.
a little different in the video. The video has it set up to where you're going to send it out through DocHub.
Mhm.
But that only works if you have the seller's email address. A
Mhm.
lot of times in the beginning, the realtor is going to want you to send it to them directly. So in
Right.
that situation, you fill out the contract, like I say, like I show in the video,
Mhm.
but then you just save it as a PDF and email it to the realtor. And then
Gotcha.
you, in the body of the email, you're going to say something along the lines of, here's the purchase contract, purchase agreement, offer, whatever terminology you want to use,
Mhm.
for you and your client's review. When
Okay.
your client is ready to proceed, all I need is their email address, and then I can send them a signable copy. Then you use DocHub.
Smart. Very smart. So I mean, for this approach, is that the only site I can use, or would that be similar to like DocuSign or
Oh, DocuSign's the
PandaDoc?
same thing. Yeah, they're all the same. They're just
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And I imagine even the button layout, because I know DocuSign and DocHub are almost identical. I think the color scheme is different. That's the only thing. But for any other one that you want to use, I'm pretty sure the button layout is even the same.
Okay.
All right. So for this deal, all you have to do is give me the numbers, and I can underwrite it for you.
All right. So what do you need first? Purchase price?
Purchase price.
That'll be 296,998.
You didn't
So
clean up your numbers.
Oh,
That's okay. I'm gonna do it.
okay.
So we'll just do 297,000. Okay. What
Okay.
is the down payment?
Down payment is 20,789, which would round it off to what, maybe 20,800 or?
No, I'll just do 20,000. Or I mean, I could do 21. Oops. I could do
Okay.
21,000.
Oh, so it's just smooth right to the 21 it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's psychological for one, because a lot of, if I take a little tangent here, I need an address. Sure. Give me this one. It's psychological. It's also a thing for me. Like Chris and Jordan will tell you. Anyone that's on my team,
Mhm.
I like clean, rounded numbers. So when it pushes something out like that, look at the monthly payment. Who in the hell wants $739.60?
And 60 cents.
Yeah, and this one I would just go down to 700. For
Okay.
this one, purchase price 211,000. No, just 210.
Right.
No, not 221, 210. And then when it comes to the down payment, because you can't fix the seller finance amount, you're just rounding it. So it'd be 15,000. And boom.
Oh,
now
very
your numbers are clean.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to also help your conversion rate as well, because if it looks like a computer did it, here in America, we're programmed that if we see something that looks like a computer did it, it's probably a scam.
Scam,
So
yeah.
I'm not clicking on a damn thing.
That makes
If
sense.
it looks like a person actually did it, you have a better chance of them looking at it.
Okay.
All right. So, what is the loan amount?
I don't know if
It'll
I
say
don't see a
seller.
loan amount.
It'll say seller financed amount on
Okay, so in that case, it'll be 277,000. Like if you were to round it off.
deal. Okay. So 278,000. Okay. And what did it say the rent is? That will be right under interest rate.
1707.
Okay. So we'll just do 17. Cool. And then what are the taxes and insurance? That'll be towards the bottom under HOA.
Taxes will be 2,500.
Oops. Okay.
And then the insurance is 1,100. Well, 1,150.
All right. I'll put that 50 in. Okay. And then what does it say the monthly payment is to the seller?
Yes, 734. So 735.
All right. So I'm just going to do 700. Okay. So this is giving you about a 17% cash on cash return. This is a pretty good deal. What was your question?
Oh my God, I want to hug you and I don't know you. This is, like I said, I've sent 55 offers between today and yesterday. I just wanted to make sure that I at least know a little bit of what the heck is going on.
So you already sent this offer out?
Yes and no.
Okay, so the only thing I'm going to suggest is
Yeah.
instead of that, I mean, you can do 700, you can do $735. That's fine. I'll just get over it. Yeah, you can do $735. You're fine. You can etch a sketch what I was about to say.
Okay. So either way it goes, the numbers always have to be rounded off, obviously, right?
That's just what I recommend for a higher conversion of people that's actually going to look at it and then take it seriously.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. And now for the write-up. I'd rather, since this is my very first one on this side of the business, I mean, if I could, I don't necessarily need the hand holding, but if you could do the first write-up, I would feel so much better about sealing this deal for all parties.
Okay. Do you want me to help you out?
If you could, and it doesn't have to be right now. It's just,
No, I want you to do it first.
Okay.
And then email it to me.
Okay.
That way, because what you think you probably know how to do it, especially if you watch the video first also. It's like 4 minutes long.
Okay.
But whatever you think is the right thing to do is probably going to be the right answer. And your brain will connect with a mistake that I showed you that you made in one spot rather than me showing you how to do the whole thing my way.
Perfect. I'm okay with that. Thank you.
You do it, send it to me. If anything is messed up, I'll show you what was messed up and then I'll redo it. And if it's not messed up, then you didn't need me in the first place.
All right now. High five. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, this deal absolutely works.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, you got a 15.8% cash on cash return. Very decent. No HOA or anything, right?
Nope.
Yeah, you're good. This is a good deal. If you can get them to sign on this, you can get that move.
All right. Now, okay, and then I'm gonna let someone else get the floor. As far as the closing date, is that always accurate? Is it usually on or before that date?
No, I don't know why. Hold on, let me go back to it just before I start talking shit about Deal Sniper. Yeah, I don't know why it makes it that short. I think it should be 30 days. So when you're doing the contract, on or before April 10th is what you should do. Okay. And just let them know it's the on or before part. If we can close sooner, great. We absolutely will. We'd love to get this closed sooner. But I'd rather tell you I need the time and not need it than need it and not have it.
Makes sense. CYA. Okay. Thanks,
Yep.
Sean.
No problem. All right, who's next? Who else got a question? Kent, is your hand up again? Or oh, hold on, I already heard from you. I got to hear from Liliana first. Liliana, what's up? Oh, I can't hear you if you're talking. You're on mute. There you go.
Oh,
Now you're
sorry.
not muted.
Hi, Sean. I had a question about a offer that I sent out yesterday, and the seller keeps texting me back consistently, asking me more questions about the offer.
Sure. What's your question? Or what's their question? Oh, you cut out if you're talking. Uh-oh. Maybe jump out and then jump back in. Or you can DM it to me directly and I can answer you there. Kent, did you have a question?
No, man, I'm good.
Oh, that was your hand raised from earlier?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. You know what? I just realized that doesn't, do you pronounce that Shannon? How do you pronounce that?
Shaheen.
Shaheen. What's up, dude?
So yeah, I had a question. I'm looking at a few properties and they only have one picture. Do you move forward and send an email to ones that don't have interior photos?
You can absolutely put an offer in on a property that doesn't have interior photos. You're just going to have to communicate with the realtor like, hey, I need you to get me photos. Now, you can also arrange for someone to go take photos on your behalf. Usually it's like $50. You know, you pay someone like a gopher or what's the name of that website?
Fiverr?
Fiverr. It's like Fiverr. It's called, damn it. No, that's not what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. I'll DM it to you as soon as I remember, because chances are the moment we get off this call, I'm going to remember. So I'll DM it to you. It's Brandon, are you on the call? Because you know what I'm talking about. Daniel, I signed up on Friday in Deal Sniper. Do I? Yeah, it's the same login you use for your WAP, whatever you signed up for that. Jordan, what's the name of that company that we use all the time when we need photos? Why can't I think of it? It's like Fiverr. It's something else.
No, Upworks. I think it's Upworks.
That's it. Upworks. Thank you. God, my brain was frying over here. I'm getting old. Yeah, Upworks is a good one to use, or any variation of it. As a matter of fact, one of my dispo guys, Brandon, he has Uber drivers do it. So he'll order an Uber to the address of the property, and then the moment it's scheduled, like, hey, you know, Mark is going to come pick you up in 30 minutes. He sends Mark a message, the Uber driver, through the app and says, hey, nobody's at that property. I don't need anyone to be picked up. I'll tip you 20, 30 bucks. I'm a wholesaler. If you could just go in there and take photos and then email or text them to me. I'll tip you 30 bucks on the app. And it works. So you can do that too.
Sweet. My bad, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
One more question. So, could you point me to which video it was that you showed where you created the Google Sheets, or would you be able to do it right now just to set it up?
Sure. The video is in the contracts channel, and it's under the video for the contracts. So I'll actually put the link in this chat right now for you guys. So contracts, tracking your offer sent using Deal Sniper with Google Sheet. There we go. Copy. There you go. So that's the video that you would, yeah, just set it. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to put the date on the, let me just show you guys. Wait, does anybody else have another question that before I get into this? Because it's going to take like 3 minutes. Okay. So you go to sheets, go to new. I would always recommend freezing the top row. So this would be date. That'll be the date that I sent. That'll be the address. This will be the realtor's name, email, phone number, link. So that would be a link to the actual property itself, like on Zillow or Redfin, whatever you ended up using. That out of the way. And then this would be my offer. And then this would be outcome. And that's it. So you get this thing set up. Move. That's too much. That's too much. Yeah, that's fine. So you move this to about here. You put the date that you sent the offer, you put the address of the property, the realtor's name, their email address, their phone number, a link to the property. And by link to the property, all I mean is this right here. Just copy it. So now when you want to click on the property, you just go and it'll show you. And then you put in your offer. Let me put in this property again. So once you clean up your numbers and you level everything out, all I would do is take this, copy it, and then paste it right here. And then I put the outcome. What happened? Declined. Follow up in a month. And then a lot of times the realtor will tell you why they can't take it. Oh, this is a divorce, so they can't do seller finance. If that's the case, I wouldn't follow up because you can't do seller financing with divorce decrees most of the time. You know. And that's it. That's how I set up my form. You know, make it nice. Put some color in it. Cool. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So I have the date, and then I can even put it in my phone. Set a reminder for next month on the 10th. Follow up with lines 2 through 20 if you're doing 20 a day.
Okay, and I've sent a bunch of them out, and I didn't get responses from a majority of them. Do I follow up with them, or it's just a dead lead?
That depends on your strategy of follow-up. It's entirely up to you. You can absolutely follow up with them and be like, hey, did you get my offer? Or you can take that time and move on and send out other properties. That's all depends on your strategy and sales process. Depends on you. Me personally, I follow up. I want an answer. Even if the answer is no, you tell me something. I don't like being left in the dark. But that's me. Some people don't really care, and they only deal with the realtors that respond to them positively. That's fine too.
I'm going to follow everything you've done. So how quickly do you follow up with that if you don't get a response?
The next day.
Next day? Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Does anybody else have a question? Shaheen, did you have another question, or is your hand up from earlier?
It's from earlier. Let me put it down.
That's all good.
Thanks.
All right. That's all I've got for you guys, unless you guys have more questions for me. This one was going to be a more start of the week, open forum, kind of fill in gaps for everyone so everyone can rock out and send some offers out this week. If you're in the Deal Sniper community, actually, whatever community you're in, I really don't care. I'll help you all the same. You just got to let me know what you need. If a realtor responds, I do have a video for that. It's already up on the channel. Post it in the main chat, and I'll tell you what to respond with. Just please keep in mind, tomorrow is Tuesday. If you're new to the community, on Tuesdays between 10 a.m. Central and 2 p.m. Central, I'm doing all admin work. So you can DM me, you can ask me questions, but you're not going to get a response until after 2 p.m. Central. Okay? And that's it. That's all I've got. Other than that, I don't sleep, so I'll be awake for another 5, 6, 7 hours. So hit me up in the channel if you need anything. Otherwise, you guys have a great night.
Thanks, Sean.
Not a problem. Talk to you guys later.
Later.
Wait.